Today we're going to learn to write a computer program by example. What we're going to do is use the IPython notebook shown here to write a simple computer program to calculate the area of a circle. And we're going to go through line by line. First thing we're going to do is put in a comment that says what we're doing. A comment looks like this. Any line that starts with a hashtag, this little pound sign right here, is a comment, and it goes from the beginning of the hashtag until the end of the line. And what these do is they're a line or multiple lines that are ignored by the computer. So the Python interpreter ignores these lines. And that is a way so that you can make notes for yourself about what the computer is doing or what your program is doing. After that, hitting enter, I'm going to leave a couple of blank lines. Blank lines, or really anything with spaces or anything like that, is what's known as white space. And that is completely ignored by the computer as well. So now what we're going to do is put in the radius. So we're going to say that the radius is equal to 2.0. There's actually a lot going on this line. To the left of the equal sign is the word radius. The word radius is a variable. What a variable is a way that a computer stores information. A good way to think of it is it's a name that is associated with a particular value. And to the right of the equal sign is a value. Here it's 2.0. And then the equal sign itself is an assignment. What it does is it gives the variable radius the value 2.0. And taken as a whole, this is something that we call a statement. And, coming back to comments, we can always add a comment on the same line after a statement like this just by starting it with the pound key, or the pound sign. So now what we're going to do is create another variable, and we're going to call it pi, pi, and we're going to set pi equal to the value 3.14159, which is the value of pi. And so now we have two variables, one for pi and one for radius, and we're ready to calculate the area of the circle. Python has all of the same mathematical operations that we're used to from math on a piece of paper. It has plus, it has minus, it has division, and it also has multiplication, except multiplication, instead of being written as an X, is written as an asterisk, and that's to keep things from getting confusing with X and times. And then, if you have an exponent, as in x squared, you represent it as two asterisks in a row, and that represents exponentiation, the exponentiation operator. So now we're going to get rid of all of these mathematical operators, and we're going to actually calculate the area of the circle. So what we're going to do is say area is equal to pi times radius squared. And what we have here is an expression. It's a combination of values, like pi and radius, and operations, like multiply and the exponentiation operator. They create something new, and that thing that's new is the return value. And what we've done is we've created a return value that we're calling area. And by the way, it's important to note that when you do mathematical operations in Python, they have the same order of operations that they do when you do them on paper. So in other words, the exponentiation operator goes first, then multiply, then divide, then add and subtract. And now what we want to do is actually show what we've done. And we're going to use this by something called a function. And that function is print. Print is a specific function in Python. And functions like print are program utilities that do a particular task. In this case, they print out anything that's inside of the two curved brackets. So, if we put something in quotes, it prints it out. So let's try it. So we're going to say print the area of the circle is, and then to execute this whole cell full of text, we hold down Shift and hit Enter. And it just says the area of the circle is. Very good. Now, we can also say to print just a variable. So we can just print the area like this. And if we don't put it in quotes, it's a variable. It prints out the variable's value. But if we do put it in quotes, then it just prints out the word area. And remember, in each of these cells, we're getting it to do something by holding down Shift and hitting Enter, or Return. And when you hold down Shift and hit Enter, it runs all of the stuff that's in that cell in the order that it appears in the cell. Another nice thing about the print statement is that you can combine the things that are in quotes, so words that you want to print out, and variables. So for example, we can say print the area of the circle is, and then we put a comma, and then we type the variable. And voila, it says the area of the circle is, and then it displays the actual area of the circle. We can combine a bunch of these all at once. So we can say the area is, and then a comma, and then print the variable area, and then another comma, and say, and the radius is, inside of quotes, and then put another comma, and then we'll print out the radius, the variable. And so now we hit Shift-Enter, and sure enough, it shows that the area is 12.56636, and the radius is 2.0. So it's printed out the text that we wanted to print out, and the two variables that we want to print out in the order that they all come into the print function. And there we go. We've written our first computer program in Python.